Once upon a time, there lived a queen and king, and they had a beautiful baby princess. "What shall we name her?" the queen asked. "It better be perfect," the king said. And they thought of a name for their baby princess. They named her Aurora. And 3 fairies appeared, and they were going to be fairy godmothers to the baby princess. Flora gave her the gift of beauty. Fauna gave her the gift of song. And when Merryweather was about to give her gift, there was a roar of thunder and a flash of light. Crash! Crash! And there was the evil Maleficent. "I'm upset that you didn't invite me," said Maleficent. And she gave a terrible gift to the baby princess. She said, "My gift is that the princess will prick her hand on the spindle of a spinning wheel and die." The poor king and queen didn't know what to do until the queen started to cry, and then Merryweather said, "Do not cry, dear queen. I cannot undo my cousin's wicked spell, but I'm sure that your daughter would not die. A prince will come and awaken her with a kiss." The queen wiped her tears away, and she nodded. And then Aurora was 18 years old. And Aurora's parents died. "Rest in peace, mother and father," said Aurora. "I hope you feel better." And then an old lady was standing behind a spindle. And Aurora ran into the room. "What pretty work you're doing," Aurora said. "Tell me, why does the wheel go whir, whir, whir?" But the lady couldn't hear Aurora because she was deaf. She kept holding her hand at the spindle, and she said, "Oh dear me, who are you?" "I am Princess Aurora," said the maiden. But the lady shook her head. She was too busy working on her spindle. But then Aurora pointed to the spindle, and the lady nodded. "You may look at it," she said, as she walked away. And Aurora tiptoed and pricked her hand on the spindle and fell into a deep sleep. The fairies, Flora, Merryweather, and Fauna, came. "No!" cried Fauna. "How can we awaken her?" said Flora. "You're too late," said Maleficent. "I have the prince, and now you can't save Aurora." Maleficent cackled. The fairies didn't know what to do. "What can we do?" asked Merryweather. But Fauna thought of something. We can be magic givers, and we can't use magic, said Fauna. The other two fairies nodded. And Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather didn't use magic. And then a handsome prince came. And Maleficent captured the prince. And Maleficent had the prince tied up in her long hair. And then Maleficent locked the prince up in jail, and he was never allowed to escape. Maleficent cackled and walked away. Aurora shook her head and woke up. What was going on? Aurora asked. I'm sorry, Aurora, said Flora. You're never allowed to see the prince ever again. Aurora burst into tears. Cinderella, Aurora was crying, and she was locked up in the castle to her parents. She cried in her room for hours and hours. And then she found a spindle in her room. She pricked it and then fell into a deep sleep. The prince bursted out of the jail. The prince saw Aurora, and he kissed her on the lips. Aurora woke up, and her eyes fluttered. Hello, Prince. Hello, Aurora. It's nice to see you. And Maleficent was banished from the kingdom forever. No! She yelled. And the prince and Aurora lived happily ever after. The end.